Welcome back to Sun Crypto. In today's video, we're going to be talking about XRP, Nano, XLM, CADONA, LITECOIN, ETHEREUM, Neo, Tron, and Monero. We're going to start with XRP. As I previously mentioned about XRP, we got a clear inverted head and shoulder, a nice chart. We got rejection right around this area of the right shoulder multiple times, right? So first, second, and third time, right? So price got a massive downward pressure, right? So and then we got these two moving averages about to cross over. This is very bearish for XRP, right? So we just have to keep that in mind. I mentioned it previously. I was thinking like XRP gonna make a very aggressive move and then move to the upside to avoid this crossover to be severe. But most likely, XRP gonna experience some more downtrend, right? If not, we're just gonna have to wait and see what type of move XRP is getting ready to make, right? Because when you take a look at it, we almost like 20% to the upside, right, from this area of neckline. So if XRP is able to retest this area, that's going to be a very aggressive move. And then let's say we break this the bullish scenario. Let's say we break this area of neckline, right? This area of neckline, if we XRP is able to break it, we're most likely going to go and retest this area right here, a one-to-one extension from the this area to that area, right? So which is going to be another, let's say, another 60% to the upside, right? But the first step for XRP is to get back to this area of neckline, at least for the short term, before we can at least try to get to this area of one-to-one extension. And then when you take a look at the RSI, the RSI is not looking as promising as you would be expecting, but at least we're getting a divergence between the RSI and then a price for the short term, right? So when you go back to the price, you can see the price is let's see, the price is moving to the downside, RSI is moving to the upside, right? So that's just that kind of give you like some some bullish sentiment, right? This type of divergence can spike to the upside at any time, right? So just keep that in mind, right? So the next coin we're going to talk about is Nano. When you take a look at Nano is looking very undecided within this triangle. So I was expecting like Nano to get as close as possible to this area of the this triangle, right? So this area right here, we're almost there. This is a daily chart, so we got like a couple more days before Nano makes a move, right? So at least for the short term. So but the bearish scenario for Nano is that we got a flag, right? So when you take a look at this, you got a move to the downside, and then we got an ABC right here, and then we got this flag. So that's a bearish scenario when you take a look at Nano. But the bullish scenario, when you take a look at Nano, you have to take a look at the bigger picture, right? So you got a nice go back, take a look at it, right? You got a nice flat bottom formation, right? Just like what Tron did back in December, November and December, right? So Nano is building up a big momentum, right, to move to the upside, right? This is the most bullish scenario you can take a look at. So you can take a look at it, right? This is a very bullish, a flat correction, basically. Nano is building up some momentum, right? Can move to the upside at any given time. And at the same time, when you take a look at the RSI, you go to the RSI. RSI is looking great, just like that, right? We got this big, move to the upside, right? When price is basically relatively flat, right, on both ends, to the bottom and to the top, right? And then Nano been moving below this moving averages, let's say since like November. On average, it is moving below this 50 EMA, right, the last 2 to 3 months. So you expect like at least Nano to make some move and then move to on the upper boundary of this these moving averages, right, at least for the short term, right? Especially when Litecoin is moving 10 to 15% above this 100 EMA, Ethereum, Neo, all of them above this 100 EMA. So you would be expecting a Nano, which is a top 50 coin, to move above this 100 EMA for at least for the short term. The next coin we're going to be talking about is XLM. I'm pretty bullish on XLM, especially since XLM was right around this this area of the the RSI, I was like XLM is the safest coin to buy, and then we got this big spike to the upside, right? You can see, and I was like, most likely XLM gonna make a U-turn, and make some sort of divergence, right? You can go back and watch that video, right? Watch that video. So I'm gonna make this type of divergence between the price and the RSI. You go back to the price. I'm expecting like price to make a slight pullback, right, and make a some sort of a flat correction, right? Either move like let's say move like 50% to the from this area, right? Let's see, let's get the Fibonacci out. Price already came back like to the 0.618. When you take a look at it, right, we're right around this area of 0.618. So it's definitely, we could come back lower, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. But I was expecting like RSI at least to make a divergence. So, but for the short term, at least Nano is bullish. Either way you're looking at it, Nano is bullish at least for the short term, right? And then we can take a look at the 4-hour chart. When you take a look at this 4-hour chart, we already got this like 3 waves move to the upside, right? So you would be expecting like some consolidation. So you got this, this flat correction, right? So basically, Nano XLM about to make a move at any given time, right? So also I'm expecting a divergence between the RSI and then the price, right? We're not getting a big divergence, right? I would like to see price to move to the upside instead of staying flat. So we could expect, at least for the short term, right, XLM to like move to the upside, at least for the short term, right? Let me just remove everything. I would be expecting like XLM to make this type of move, and then like that. That's what I'm expecting from XLM, at least for the short term, right? The next coin we're gonna be talking about is CADONA. When you take a look at CADONA, CADONA has one of the most beautiful chart, just like LITECOIN, right? So what I'm expecting from CADONA is to come back, retest this area I've been talking about since CADONA was right around this area, right? So let's take a look at it. It was like almost 15% away from this area, right? Now we can retest this area and get a slight pullback, right? And then when you take a look at it, we got a strong support right around this area of 50 EMA, right? The 50 EMA is supporting the price. This is the 4-hour chart, right? The daily chart, right? So the 50 EMA is basically supporting the price. Let's take a look at the let's go ahead and take a look at the 4-hour chart, right? When you take a look at this 4-hour chart, we clearly made let's see, this is a ABC correction. We got this nice correction, right? So what you expect, CADONA to start like moving to the upside and retest this area of the neckline, right? So right around this area of the neckline. That's what I'm expecting, at least CADONA to do, at least for the short term, right? So the daily, we got a nice support right around this area of the 50 EMA, and then the 4-hour chart is moving below the 50 and then the 100 EMA. So that's a good thing, right? That's a good sign. When you take a look at the RSI, let's go to the daily. You take a look at the RSI, no major move, right? So basically we still got some more room to go, right? Let's take a look at it. You still want your RSI to get to this area, right? You want your RSI to get to that area, right, before you make any type of decisions, right? So that's what I'm looking for, at least from Nano. RSI to be to this area of a bought region, and then price to retest this area of the neckline, right? So that's what I'm looking for from ADA, at least for the short term. Let's go ahead and take a look at the LITECOIN now. LITECOIN, just like ADA, has a very beautiful chart, right? So we got a clear inverted head and shoulder, a break above this area of the neckline, and then made a 1-to-1 extension. So we completed this move, right, for the inverted head and shoulder. So what we're looking at is now we're looking at a 5-wave structure to the upside, right? And then we got wave number 1, and then we almost completed wave number 3. So I would be assuming we already complete wave number 3. I wouldn't be taking any risk at this time, right? We made a nice V shape to the top. So because of this wave number 5 being so long, you would be expecting like at least like because of this wave number 3 being so long, right? So you would be expecting, right, your wave number 5 within this 5-wave structure to be short. So this is what I'm trying to explain, right? So you got 1, 2, a very long wave number 3, right? So you would be expecting either a truncated wave number 5 or a very short wave number 5, right around this area. So we completed that move. So what I'm expecting, at least for the short term now, Litecoin to make some move to the downside, right, to at least consolidate, with a let's see, Fibonacci to the top, right, to consolidate right around this area between 382 and this area of 50%, right? So we could come back, retest this area of neckline, but at least for the short term, Litecoin is very bullish, so I wouldn't be taking any risk to wait for the price that low, right? So I would just be like waiting for this area of 382 and then 50%, right, to the downside. If Litecoin keep going up, I mean, good, but at least like you gotta plan to wait for the price to come back down to this area, right? So that's what I'm expecting from Litecoin, at least for the short term. The next coin we're gonna talk about is Ethereum. Ethereum has a very nice and clean chart, right? Not much to do, like I said on my previous video, right? We about to get a crossover, unlike XRP. XRP is doing like the opposite of what Ethereum is doing, right? You take a look at it right around this area. We got a very clean, crossover, right? About to take place like the next, 24 to 36 hours, right? So you take a look at it, most likely, we're gonna get this crossover right here, and then price gonna get supported by this 50 EMA, and then this 100 EMA gonna be moving to the downside. So and then I'm still expecting a 1-to-1 extension from Ethereum, right? So I'm still expecting like Ethereum to retest this area of 0.046, 0.047 BTC, right? Because we got this area of resistance. We're most likely going to be retesting, right, this area right here. So we're most likely going to be retesting this area right there. So take a look at it again, right? So and then we take a look at the RSI. When you take a look at this region of the RSI, right, we almost you get into this area of a bought region, right? So you take a look at it in the bigger picture, right around this area, right? So I'm expecting a divergence between RSI and the price. So Ethereum could be going a lot higher than what it is right now. So you go back to the price action, I would be expecting like Ethereum to keep going up, right? After we get a support right around this area right here, I would be expecting Ethereum to make another move to the upside, and then RSI would still be like making this type of move, right? And then we're gonna get this divergence, right? So that's what I'm expecting, at least for the short term with Ethereum. The next coin we're gonna talk about is Neo. When you take a look at Neo is kind of looking like a little bit like not BTC but Ethereum, right? A 1-to-1 extension. That's what I was expecting from Neo. But we got a clear divergence between RSI and price. Price is moving flat still, right? So as I mentioned it, right? So previously, and then we got this, right? But I'm still expecting like RSI to make a U-turn, right? I'm still expecting the RSI to make some sort of move and make a double top. Just like that, right? Make this sort of double top, and then price gonna get supported right around this area of the 50 EMA, and then move to the upside, right? So that's very possible, and then you're gonna make this divergence, right? So Neo gotta get to this area of upper level of this 100 EMA. This area is not safe, very close to the 100 EMA and very close to the 50 EMA, right? So for Neo at this time, right? So but since ontology is bullish at this time, I don't see Neo like getting bullish until ontology ontology cools down, right? So at least for the next 24 to 36 hours, most likely ontology gonna cools down, and then Neo gonna get the volume coming in, right? So the next coin we're gonna talk about is Tron. I previously made a special video about Tron, so you can go back and take a look at it. I'm expecting Tron to come back, retest this area of the golden packet right around this area, right? If you're aggressive, you can wait for Tron to come back, to this area of let's say 50% retracement, right? So you can wait for 50%, or you can wait for 0.618. So this is a daily chart, right? Tron been bearish basically the last couple of weeks, right? Almost 3 weeks, right? The whole month of February, right? Tron been bearish. So and then we got a clear divergence between the price and then the RSI right here. You can take a look at it. We got a our price moving to the upside, and when you go back to the RSI, RSI moving to the downside. So this is the type of move I'm expecting from LITECOIN and then Ethereum and Neo and all of them, right, to make this type of divergence, like let's say a almost 1 month divergence, right? So it's very possible. And then when you take a look at this divergence lasted like what, almost for like a 75% to the upside, right? 75% to the upside of divergence. So that's big, right? So at least for the short term, that's what I'm expecting for Tron to come back, retest this area of 0.618. And then the next coin we're going to talk about is Monero. Monero is making a very special move, just like Tron did, right? This bottom formation just looked like the Tron bottom formation back in from November to December, right, before Tron just took off, right? So when you take a look at this move, at the same time it looks like the same type of move XLM did in the lower time frame, right? I don't know if I show you or not, but we make this triangle and then break to the upside. We most likely retest this area of the upper boundary. So basically that's what Monero is doing, right? Retest this area of the upper boundary. Most likely gonna get supported by this lower boundary before we go to the upside, right? So if you want to take a look at it this way, you can also take a look at it as a flat correction, right? Just like what not XLM, but ICX is doing, right? But ICX is right around this lower level of the boundary, right? The area of this support, right? The support line. So, but I'm expecting, at least for the short term, Monero to move to the upside with a very aggressive move, right? Because this accumulation area, has been building, has been going on since like like let's say mid December, right? So I'm expecting, at least for the short term, Monero XMR just to move to the upside, right? Let's take a look at the RSI. When you take a look at this RSI, you got a clear big divergence, right? So you got this huge divergence between the RSI and then the price. You go back to the price, right? Price is basically remaining flat, right? So at least for the short term, that's what I'm expecting from Monero to move to the upside, right? So very good time to accumulate Monero, at least for the short term. So the current price of Monero is like $50, so you would be expecting like Monero at least to move like to 60, 70, 80, and maybe go to $100, right? So let me know what you think down below. If you think like any of these coins are ready to move to the upside, or we are most likely going to make some new lows, right? So thank you for watching.